So I hope everyone's doing fine. It's a warm day today, December 15th, 2023. The air is warm, 6 degrees. So yeah, 6 degrees today. It was sunny earlier, but my sister called me. And we don't talk too often, so it's good to talk. And of course, we say we're only going to talk for 15 minutes and we talk for an hour and a half. Which is good. But she had to go back to work, and I had to go out riding before it goes dark. 32:15. Yeah, 32:15 in the afternoon. I left at 100% on everything, just making sure it's nicely adjusted. There you go. You'll notice that there's no phone over here. It was in the way of the camera. And well, my phone was kind of like giving up its life slowly but surely. So it was a used phone when I bought it a few years ago. It was an older model. It was from LG, which stopped making phones 2 years ago and stopped supporting it last year. And also Android stopped updating because after a certain number of years, a certain number of versions, it no longer updates. So I have a new phone. This one, it's the Google Pixel. This one, Google Pixel 7a. It's much faster. It's a bit smaller, which is great. And I have a new phone mount instead of being this big thing over here, which is great when you're driving because it's nearby. It's not great for the camera. So I have to look lower to see the map, which is good because I have to stop to look at it. It's safer when it's out of my sight, oddly enough. Although it was handy to just like quickly just turn your eyes and like mirror phone, you know, it's easy. Whatever, I'll get used to it. And yeah. Yeah, I got my tea in a cup here, but it looks like it's not holding. The cup holder is kind of crooked. I don't know if it's gonna hold. So I'm actually gonna stop somewhere and take it out. Make sure that it stays somewhat upright. There you go. Attempt number 17. So, because it's nice, because I've been indoors for since the last recording actually, I figured I have to go out because it's nice and see some sights, change it up. And we're going up the mountain today. So you'll excuse me sometimes. I'm paying attention to my phone, paying attention to everything. It's new stuff and it shakes, but I don't know if that's good or not. If my phone ends up pointing down instead of up, then I may just have to change it again. Or not again, but change, yeah, again. Or put back the old thing. Because while the old thing was in the way, it was a solid piece. Nothing turned, nothing twisted. So we're going up to the Montreal viewpoint. Hopefully the Google Maps doesn't send me on a bike path, which is more of a pedestrian path. That's large. A bike can go there. But considering the weather, it's probably going to be either icy or slushy. And I don't want to ride in either ice or slush. So if I get there and I see that it's bringing me up the normal pedestrian hiking trail, I'm gonna change the Google Maps to give me the car direction, and then I'll go up there as if I was a car. I tried to adjust my front disc brakes because the pads are too tight, too close to the disc itself. And contrary to almost any disc brake mechanism out there, this one seems to be proprietary. Or I think I didn't say that word right, but New doesn't want us to adjust disc brakes on this. They do on the small kick scooter, and there's plenty of instructions and manuals and pictograms on how to do it on a kick scooter, but there's absolutely no information on my model, the UQI Plus of New, which is really annoying. You tell Google, give me scooters, and it gives you kick scooters, which I hate. Kick scooters are not scooters. Luckily in French we have an actual different name for it. Trottinette versus scooter. So there's actually a separate word for it. Whereas in English, it's the same word for all three things. And it's not a moped if it's a scooter. And it's not a moped if it's electric. Because moped means motorized. Anyways, a scooter and a moped are not the same thing. But it's the closest category of this e-bike that looks like a miniature scooter. So, during the winter, I won't be riding as much. At some point, I'll send an email to to the dealership where I bought this this e-bike. Legally, it's an e-bike, so I'll say e-bike. And there's something wrong with my right mirror. It's not tight. I thought I tightened it with the right tools, but it's not holding. Luckily, I mostly use my left mirror because I stick to the right side of the road. But it is, I'm aware of it. It's annoying. When I get back, before I even leave the storage area, I'm gonna fix it right away. Fix it before leaving. Yeah. My last video, I talked about mental health. My last video, I talked about mental health, and I find that going out and talking helps a lot. Because I did not go out a lot those last couple of weeks, I've been feeling it. Because it's not nice out, I don't go out as much. Because I don't actually work right now, go to school online in the evenings, I'm my outings and my social interactions are very limited, which I'm not too shabby with. So they were telling me to go through a park here, and I don't want to go through a park. And here it's a road that's there. So I'm just gonna park here. Over my mirror for a second. Oh, I just touched a nerve there. And I'm gonna change my directions to vehicle. Why is it not working? There you go. Yeah, that route works. Start. I'm actually gonna adjust this right away. So it looks up more. There you go. Not quite straight, but it is pointing at my eyes now, so I can actually see it with a glance as opposed to on an odd angle. So I'm going to partially respect the map, partially not pay attention to it, because sometimes a bike path could be better than a road, and it's either or on the phone. They have nothing for e-bikes. They don't have the in-between functions. It's understandable. I I wish there was more customizability, but programming can be tricky. There's some interesting gusts of wind. It's not supposed to be too windy, but the gusts can be powerful. See, if these cars had their blinkers on, I would know if they're going straight or turning right, which would allow me to go on the left side of their cars so I can continue straight without worrying about getting a hit. But they're not indicating if they're turning or going straight. I understand they're in the right lane, but this right lane is straight or turn. Even when it's obvious you have to turn, that you may be turning, you put on your blinker. It's a very important feature, aspect of life. Alright. I'm not using the throttle going down to save on the battery. I put it on turbo mode so that when I get to the other side, I can actually climb it quickly as opposed to at 8 kilometers an hour. Ah, sunshine. Good. I thought I was gonna be overdressed for this, but I think I'm dressed just right at the moment. I was wearing my thermal underwear, my pants, no snow pants, and I'm wearing an undershirt, a thermal shirt, a long sleeve sweater, and my winter jacket. I only got the normal thick pair of gloves. So it's nice. It's a nice weather. The air is warm. Even though it's humid, 80% humidity, it's a good day to ride. I hope I make it up the mountain. Because I do know that the battery drain is faster when it's lower temperatures. It's not below zero, so it shouldn't be too bad. The liquids inside the battery are still in liquid form. But yeah. I've been watching a lot of motorcycle channels. There's not a lot of scooter, moped channels out there. There's too many people showing off on their kick scooters, calling it scooters. But I found a few of them that are a bit like what I want to do, which is long form videos, monologuing and talking about vlogging, basically. Which is what I'm aiming for. I don't really care if I get subscribers or not. I'm doing it for my mental health. I'm doing it for myself. Actually, during those 2 weeks that I wasn't writing, I was missing it. So I actually rewatched my own videos. It's kind of weird hearing yourself talk. But I was seeing what I did wrong. I was seeing what I did right. You know, I was reassuring myself in my abilities, building my confidence by rewatching what I did. Make sure my skills are up to par with the level of writing that I'm doing. I got some comments, some replies to my comments that I left on videos. One of them is a motorcycle guy, and he said, stop bullying the guys in small motorcycles. And I replied, I was like, hey, I'm on a small electric moped that is so small it's legally an e-bike. And telling in brackets that I've only recently entered the world of two wheels. And he's like, he hearted my comment, liked it, and replied, well, you gotta start somewhere. Congrats, good job. I subscribed to his channel, of course, because it was interesting. It was calm driving. It wasn't speeding. It wasn't breaking people's mirrors. It was just the calm enjoyment of the ride. Still didn't check my tires, and I think that was a mistake. When I sat on it when I left the warehouse, I felt that I sunk down a lot. Although when I looked back and bounced on it, it seemed that it was just the shocks, the shock absorbers that were doing their job. Maybe I gained weight. But hopefully it lets me pass. Good. Yeah, kind of can't wait for spring. At the same time, when you think about it, it's already December 15th. Okay, yeah, winter hasn't started yet. Winter starts in another 6 days. But it's 6 degrees. And when I look at the predictions for the next like 2 weeks, it's not gonna get very cold. It may snow once, and that still might melt by the time we get there. So there's a possibility that I will be going to see my parents on Christmas on my scooter, which I think for me would be awesome. I mean, I've driven in the night, I've driven in the day, I've driven in the cold, I've driven in the warmth. I'm enjoying all of it. And I think I got too scared, or too much isolated during the last 2 weeks, where it wasn't too cold. Yes, there was a couple of days where it was like -10 or something like that, but this morning I thought about it when talking to my sister. I was explaining what I did in my rides, and when I went to see my mom the first time I recorded, the day started at -9 with a wind chill of -13, which on a bike would be like -19. Shit, I have to turn left, I mean. So I'm actually going to go across here. This thing doing it like a bicycle. Finger on the brakes because you never know when someone could open their doors. It's a bit tight at the corner here. All right. There's a truck over there. It's in the way. Nice. Why are you sticking to your right? Almost got hit by a car. No blinkers and hug the right without looking in their mirrors. I almost feel like putting this on those channels, Moto Madness and whatnot that I've been watching, where it's mostly these snippets where an accident happens. Yeah, I did not honk because it surprised me, and I was more worried about adjusting where I'm going than honking, which I've explained in the previous safety tips in my last video, where on a motorcycle, honking is like one of the last things you do. You honk if you have time, but you don't honk if you don't have time. You concentrate on your survival before anything else. So the fact that the guy was turning into my lane, and I was in the lane, I was right next to him. He did not look into his mirrors, and he kept turning right. I was like right next to his side window. If he was looking right, he would have seen me. So I'm lucky nothing got scratched, and I'm lucky I'm not broken and that I'm alive. Oh, we have a name, I found out. Yeah, there's a few slogans for people on two wheels that I've discovered. Well, one of them is 4 wheels move the body, 2 wheels move the soul. And well, I've never really driven a car, so I don't know how much enjoyment you can get from driving a car, but I get a lot of enjoyment from riding on 2 wheels. My soul is moved by these 2 wheels. And I'm not even throttling right now. It's a nice steady downhill. I'm like slowly accelerating without doing anything. Just keep an eye out for cars, keep an eye out for potholes. Be ready to react. Still not accelerating or actively accelerating. The bike, the hill is doing everything by itself. I've just hit 40 kilometers an hour. When I go, after I go up the mountain, I'm gonna have to be going down the mountain. That's something I've been debating since yesterday. I could go down the usual hill, which can make me reach like 60, 65, maybe even 70 kilometers an hour. Considering the roads, oh, that was a big pothole. That was a dinosaur hole. Considering the downhill and the condition of the roads, I think I'm going to not go down the usual hill. A couple people have died on that hill. Mostly from cars getting hit by bikes. And the way I understand the kind of bikers that get killed, usually it's the ones that are not sticking to the side of the road, but standing in the middle of it, accelerating faster than cars and not being careful. I understand there's a joy of the thrill, but there's no joy in dying. Because this is all uphill, I'm on turbo mode. My hand is hard on the brake right now. I don't want to roll back into the car behind me. This mirror of mine is really being a bitch. There's a car beside me. It's deciding to enter my lane. Considering the road conditions, you shouldn't, as a car driver, go next to someone on a something that's bigger than a slim bike. It's similar to a scooter or motorcycle. You should not hug in the same lane. There's no passage in front of me, so I actually can't go further in front of me. So I have to stay in the traffic. know what? I'm gonna try it. If it wasn't for the snow, I'd go for it, but whew, keeps me alive. Keeps my brain active. I like it. I don't know where this map is bringing me. I'm actually gonna stop on the side here. And bring it somewhere else. This may make me go around in circles for a bit. I'm going to the Camillien Hood Belvedere, which goes up Remembrance Road. Yeah. Okay, that's not bad. What is it doing here? One or the other? And let's use the main one. So I'm on Avenue des Pins, Pine Avenue. I'll be turning towards Cedar Avenue. Cedar. to hug a right. Turbo mode. Accelerate up this hill. Cruise control. Even on turbo mode, see my speed is dropping. 21, 20, 19. Is it gonna make it? I think that just used like 2% of my battery right there. I used to hang out a lot around this place in my late high school days. I had a friend that lived around here with the same name as me. And oh, it's a richer area. I didn't have a lot of confidence, so I lived vicariously through him. So he had a car. He usually paid my nights out and everything. Really appreciative of everything he's done for me. But yeah, sometimes we'd park around here, smoke a joint where we're not supposed to, chill out late at night, talk about all kinds of teenage stuff from the days before Instagram and Facebook and all that shit. And I say shit because it is shit. I'm gonna hug a right, turn right on Chemin de la Côte des Neiges. This area is filled with steeper roads, hills and whatnot. It's hugging the mountain a lot. Let's go in turbo mode. Yeah, it hugs the mountain, which is a bit why it's richer, because it's higher. Historically, you know, the nobles and courtesans and dukes and whatnot, they live higher so they could look down on their subjects. The subjects lived among the floodplains. And over here in Montreal, before it was all roads, it was wetlands, marshes when you were lower. So if you were poor, you lived in the grassy, wet floodplains everywhere. Especially in the spring when all the snow on the mountain melts and it just goes downhill. And there wasn't any, you know, irrigation systems and all that stuff, roads, human rights. So it was yeah, the workers and the proletariat lived lower. You know what I like? Going faster than the cars. So I have to go turn a right on Chemin Remembrance Road. There is or was a military base here. There should still be a cannon or something hanging out. I mean, Montreal is old. It's among the first North American settlements actually on this island. That's a big pothole. On this island, in the borough called Hochelaga Maisonneuve, or today, Merci Hochelaga Maisonneuve, but Hochelaga is the first permanent construction settlements in North America. All the others until that point were temporary trading outposts and forts and guards and whatnot. This guy was coming in fast and hugging me. Of course, he's on a BMW. You can't see my eyes, but I'm giving the stares of death right now. He's tailgating the other guy. It's way too close. There's a cemetery right here. One of the oldest cemeteries in North America. Christian cemeteries, of course. There's a lot of people in there. I know of at least 2 people in there. My grandmother, on my dad's side, is buried in there. And one of my early adult years friends, sad story, she died at like the age of like 18 or 19. Was too young to die. Some crazy accident. I do miss her. I think about her ever so often. But yeah, there's stories of drugs and crossing highways. Apparently, he never had the full story because the boyfriend at the time was also on drugs, and we never got a clear idea of what happened, but we understand that it was pretty much instant. I'm happy that it was instant. I'm sad that it was too young. It says I have 3 minutes to go. It does estimate it by car, so that's wrong. But it's only 3 o'clock and I left at 2:15. It's gonna be a shorter ride. And I am using turbo a lot more. And because I have a mirror that's busted up, I'm kind of like more on edge. So in my mind, it's going faster. I'm trying to make my stops be more stopped without getting off the bike. One of the YouTubers, I don't remember which one, sorry YouTube, but was talking about confidence at slow speeds and not wobbling, keeping straight even though you're almost stopped. He was practicing more the turning at slow speeds, but I find that you should practice going straight at slow speeds as well, because sometimes when you're near a stop and you're too slow, you start wobbling a bit. And then when you take off, you're also wobbling a bit. And you should try to avoid that. Mainly to develop the confidence. You have to go beyond the comfort zone on a regular basis to become comfortable with that discomfort and then it's no longer a discomfort. Ta-da! Which I'm sure a lot of athletes, people who push themselves hard, acrobats, yeah, they do that a lot. No, I've never backflipped. I'm too afraid to backflip. If I tried to backflip, I'd probably hurt myself badly. Okay, I don't like this area because it tightens. They're trying to like figure out what to do to fix this road. Let's make it a one-way street for cars and make sure that there's an actual path. I mean, if you're on foot, you got nowhere to go, and you're allowed to be on foot, but you're stuck, especially if you were on the right. All of a sudden, you have to cross a road. Oh, here we are.